Employees are a business's most valuable competitive advantage. So, how important is it to retain them, and what is the cost of poor retention rates? Hello, Kaylee Martin, founder of Ripple Recruitment, talent agent, and recruitment specialist. You might ask yourself, why should I bother about staff retention? The simple answer is because the cost of low-level employee retention rates is extremely high, and it hits your bottom line more than you realise because not all the costs are immediately obvious. In fact, the actual cost of staff turnover ranges between 100 and 200% of that employee's gross annual remuneration. Some employers may be thinking that they are not at risk of losing their top talent in this climate, and they may be right. But we need to remember there will be a time when employees feel safe enough to again explore new employment opportunities. So I'd like to put it to you that now is the time to review your employee retention programs, and if you don't have any, now is the time to develop them. It is now at this very challenging time that your staff and others are watching how you manage your teams through this climate and how valued your teams feel. Your staff are listening to the stories of their friends and family and how their employers are treating them, and they are comparing these to their own experiences, and they will be making mental notes of who appears to be an employee-centric operator and who is not. If you are not employee centric, and the chances are you have low-level staff retention or a comparatively high staff turnover, and here are some ways it is affecting your bottom line. The most obvious initial cost are final pays, which can disrupt the budget significantly in some instances. Next, you have the cost of advertising the role, reviewing the applicants, managing the short and long lists, and then screening your shortlist, which will hopefully give you some candidates to interview. Then you have the cost of someone's physical time and their time away from their core function to interview and review their candidates. And you need to allocate resources to conduct reference checks. Finally, you have the costs of onboarding your new hire. So, at the end of all this, hopefully you have made a great hiring decision. But what if you haven't and you discovered it was a poor or downright bad decision? If you have made a bad hire, the costs hitting your bottom line start stacking up, and here are some of them. Number one, your employees will quickly evaluate the new hire and identify their shortcomings, resulting in some strong emotional responses. For example, resentment at having to carry the new hire. Teams can also become fractured as some support the new hire and others don't. Number two, customers will probably start to have more negative engagements with your business. So, for example, the phone is not answered in a manner in keeping with your company culture, or goods aren't delivered as promptly as they used to be. At the very least, this will result in lost opportunities, but it can also cause your customers to consider your competitors as alternative business partners, which may result in the loss of a customer. Number three, as you already know, you have a legal obligation to help the new hire reach their full potential, with the objective of them being able to meet their workplace commitments. This will require resources, which may include investing in external providers such as a training school. Number four, if the process is drawn out, you could also start losing good talent as they become disillusioned and unsettled in the workplace. At the very least, the business will be losing productivity as staff are distracted and preoccupied with the goings-on. Number five, if you finally reach the place where the hire is performing and the business environment recovers, or if the hire decides this is not the role for them and they leave of their own accord, that's great, and hopefully the losses stop there. But if the hire decides to stay and they are still not meeting their commitments, and you have fulfilled all your legal obligations, you may need to go down the path of dismissal. And this process should be managed by an HR, human resources consultant, and or solicitor. So the costs have not stopped yet. Finally, when the hire leaves your business, the recruitment process has to start over again. So I encourage you to do all you can to retain good talent, and certainly do everything in your power to avoid bad hires. Thank you for watching. Bye for now, and stay safe.